And I know that I've been very lucky, but I also took advantage of some of those chances. So Chris Fowler, the legendary voice of ESPN, who's been on there now for over 40 years,
Mhm.
he was referred to me because he is a monster in the gym. Man, that guy, it's something to see. So impressive on so many levels. And, you work out, you work hard, and you're going to find yourself on my table at some point. So he got referred to me, and we had a lot of different things, some post-surgery stuff. And like clockwork, he'd always show up on Wednesday before he had to travel on Thursday for the game of the week on Saturday, wherever that was. And also like clockwork, he would bring in his injury list for Saturday's game. And he asked me, what are my talking points for Saturday? Michigan has this, Ohio State has this. What do you think? And in college football, what's interesting is the amount of information you get on sports injuries is like throwing tea leaves. These coaches are just ridiculous with how they report college injuries compared to the NFL. I mean, I've actually asked coaches, coach, you say lower leg injury, is it a knee, is it an ankle? They're like, yeah, it's below the waist. Really? That's their answer,
Give me a
right?
laugh. Yeah.
And
Thanks for giving me a laugh there.
so I remember just saying, well, okay, here's definitely a knee injury based on that replay from last week, but he continued into the fourth quarter. Moving was pretty good and pushed off pretty well. Didn't look like he lost any acceleration, but the real telltale sign is Monday, Tuesday, as all the swelling sets in. So that's the kind of stuff we started talking about. And Thursday is the real kicker. When Chris was going to see them basically on Thursday or Friday, he'd always observe practice. So I'd always kind of tell him what to look for at practice because we were just throwing darts on who's going to play, who's not going to play, right? And he kind of liked that banter that him and I had, and I wasn't prepared for anything. I thought he basically gave me an assignment every Wednesday. What are my talking points, right? And then a couple of years of that, he goes, you need to be on air. You need to be in my booth. This is like exactly what I want, what no question the audience wants. And he put me in touch with his powers that be, another mentor of mine in media. His name is Ed Placey, legendary executive producer at ESPN, recently retired from ESPN, now on to other great chapters. And Ed Placey was my sponsor at ESPN. And he said, I want you to be the Mike Pereira of sports injury analysts. And I think we can do this. And he said that because Mike Pereira himself went to ESPN and suggested the idea of the rules analyst, and ESPN passed.
Wow. Wow.
And then Fox said, "Hey, good idea. Let's go with that." And then, but he changed the game. When now there's rules analysts in every sport and particularly in every college and NFL game, as well as now NBA as well, right? So and took a couple of years to convince all the powers that be. So between Chris Fowler as my sponsor, Ed Placey is my sponsor, I debuted on the Saturday night game of the week with Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit. And man, that day changed my life. It changed my life. What's cool about that, it was so many years later, over 3 decades later, making my national debut. It's not like I worked my way up. I wasn't applying for anything. Right?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, you're going on ABC, millions of people watching. Good luck with that. And it's been just a wonderful, wonderful ride. And that particular season, I covered every major game, including the Rose Bowl and the national championship that year.